Kevin Durant that good, or were the Cavs that bad? Was LeBron James not good enough, or were the rest of the Cavs still bad enough? And were the refs live tweeting good enough that you want a retweet? Let's go around the horn.
Whistler's mother likes that. A little more.
Never at me. Y'all know the rules.
Retweets are not necessarily.
We'll play by those rules.
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter.
We start with breaking news. Brian Colangelo resigning today with the 76ers after the team's investigation into Twitter burner accounts found that his wife was responsible for them. The team's statement, quote, "It has become clear Brian's relationship with our team and his ability to lead the 76ers moving forward has been compromised." In Colangelo's statement, he denied reckless conduct and says he did not share confidential information with his wife. Brett Brown today said he has spoken with most of the players about the situation, and owner Josh Harris said the 76ers are focused on the right choice, not the fast choice. Woody, is this a good day, a bad day, or just Thursday for the 76ers?
I'll give you another option. It's a great day after so many bad days of dealing with this controversy, and Colangelo throwing his wife to the curb right there. I don't know about that, but there are going to be some problems in that household, I think. But moving forward, yes, they made the right decisions. They've got the draft and free agency coming up, and they got to deal with both of those and whether players would want to come to Philadelphia and work under Brian Colangelo. I think this makes sense for them to just part ways and move on and try and get back on the track that they had during the postseason.
Tim, right way or wrong way?
Right way today, but Thursday overall. I can't give him that much credit for, hiring some investigators to, they did find out. I wouldn't say he threw his wife under the bus. I would say the investigator found out, using forensics and everything else, that it was her. Now, how she had this information and Brian Colangelo continues to say he didn't give it to her, that remains a bit of a mystery. But for the Sixers, they've got about 2 weeks to start repairing whatever damage has been done, with not just with players. They got to resolve things with agents. They got to have people who trust them, not just for the draft, but free agency.
And Sarah, what do you make out of it?
Yeah, I think it's a good day, and I think their statement about wanting to be right, not fast, is a good premise, but they could have been a little faster, and they might be finding themselves scrambling to find someone to insert before the draft and free agency that people will believe can carry on the 76ers process to keep the continuity that they had going over the last couple of years and leading into this postseason. That's going to be really difficult. Also worth noting, there's a story in the Philly Voice that Jerry Colangelo, Brian's dad, intervened and attempted to prevent his firing by saying that he might make things difficult for the 76ers around the league, and he has a lot of sway. I don't see how he stays on as an advisor to the team, and I don't think this is done yet.
The team owner denies that today, but Clinton, what do you make out of this family affair?
This is awful. I mean, if he did know and he didn't say anything, that's bad. If he didn't know and it was happening anyway, to me, that's even worse. Overall, if you look at where the 76ers are, this is happening at the worst possible time. They've got a lot of young talent. They've got a lot of things moving. I just don't understand how either Colangelo, even stays involved with this franchise. And quite frankly, overall, it's embarrassing. Look, this is the franchise that a lot of people want to buy into in terms of what they're doing in the league, in terms of how they're growing in an Eastern Conference that people are trying to find somebody to root for outside of the Cavaliers and LeBron James. This is just another mess, and I don't think that if you're a Sixers fan, you can take anything good away from it at all.
Woody?
I think that Brian should have, he could have ended this all at the beginning. He knew what was going on. He was sharp enough to look at those tweets. And when he didn't do that, then it becomes a cover-up. And that's where the major problem is. There's no way for him to stay there. He should have resigned earlier.
Moving on, what Kevin Durant did last night to the Cavs looked like one of those mixtapes from the Barry Farms Summer League in D.C. Four jumpers from 30 feet out. Whap! Whap, whap, whap. 6 three-pointers in all. Scored 43 points on 23 shots. Every Cav who tried to guard him, 8 in all, caught some of it. Clint, you seen my homie at Barry Farms, because you are my homie. You know what I'm talking about. Are you giving all the credit and praise to Durant here, or do you think the Cavs could have done a better job of trying to defend him?
Goodman League. I am giving Durant all the praise for a reason. Obviously, the Cavs were scrambling. Earlier in the playoffs, when Kevin Durant said that the switching with the Rockets was actually throwing him off, that's what the Cavs were trying to throw at him. But guess what? Kevin Durant's 7 feet tall and he can shoot the lights out, so there's just nothing you can do. That's what happened here. I don't want to give the Cavs all the blame because, again, when one of the best players in the league is having an on night, I cannot, within good faith, say that they did anything wrong. They tried their best. Guess what? Just didn't work.
Sarah.
Yeah, complaining about the Cavs defense at this point and blaming it on them after they were 29th in defensive efficiency in the regular season and have never shown any modicum of effort or good poise on D, to all of a sudden claim that they should be able to stop Kevin Durant when he's in the zone is absurd. 12 of 20 uncontested shots, that ties a postseason record for him. So he was making shots even when they were defending him. This is just a matter of him, as LeBron James said, being a straight-up assassin.
Tim, did you see that?
I did see that, and I hope that the host hasn't forgotten his homie from our days of sharing an office at Dallas Morning News. Just wanted to put that out there. But let me just say this. They guarded him pretty well at times. It didn't matter. When he is in that zone, and as you said, 4 for 4 from 30 feet. I don't know exactly how they measure that. I don't know how they know if it's 29.5 feet. But regardless, he was a long way from the line, and they couldn't stop him.
What have you seen big guys like this perform like this, like Tim's Dirk Nowitzki? Were you surprised?
Not at all. I mean, he went off in the third game of the previous finals, and he had played so well in game 2, but it was overshadowed by what Curry and Klay Thompson had done. If you look at his efficiency and his effectiveness in those last 2 games, I mean, he is limiting the number of shots, but successfully making them. Think about this, that nobody's made 40 points with that few attempts since Shaquille O'Neal was just putting in dunks in the finals. So I think that when you got somebody that's scoring as he is, you feed it. You don't go away from it. And I don't think it was about the Cavaliers. The Warriors can't stop LeBron if he really takes it upon himself. And the Cavaliers can't stop Durant because of his length and because of his ability.
Clinton, one more time on our finest from PG County.
I think there's something to be said about the culture of this team here, too. A lot of people want to say that he just glommed on to a championship squad and he wasn't really doing anything other than joining a team that was already good. This proves to me as something a little bit more in terms of the legacy of KD, in terms of what he's doing when the rest of this team isn't doing as well as they could be.
Moving on to LeBron, our other superstar, who put up another playoff triple-double last night, 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. His last bucket, a three-pointer just inside of 2 minutes, brought the Cavs to within a point of the Warriors. But LeBron shot 50%, under 50% for the first time in these finals, even missed some right at the iron. Sarah, did LeBron's less-than-LeBron performance delete him from the MVP consideration, or should he even have been in it?
Well, the first thing is crazy, right? He gets a triple-double, and he's still playing amazingly, and he's less than LeBron. Did this hurt his chances that he got a triple-double? I actually think the fact that Steph Curry didn't play well might have helped his chances, because Steph Curry was leading in the MVP kind of race, and now Kevin Durant steps in. They kind of might cancel each other out if they keep trading games, which leaves us with LeBron as the most consistent performer. Unfortunately, the bigger problem for him is I think they're going to get swept, and it's impossible to try to find a way to turn the logic into the most valuable player in a series is the guy whose team got swept.
Tim, handicap the MVP race for these finals.
Yeah, I thought he has a chance if it goes 6 games. It doesn't look like it's going 6 games right now. If it goes 5 and he has 2 monster games and Durant backs up a little bit, I don't know. I still don't see how you make an MVP choice from a team that wasn't that competitive. It doesn't really matter if all his games are triple-doubles, if his team can't win, and if Durant's going to play like this, and you look at what he did in Game 2 when he was 10 for 14, then I don't think LeBron can catch him.
Is that fair, Woody?
Sure it is. If you want to name the best player in the finals, sure, give it to him by acclamation. But most valuable player, only one time in NBA history has the MVP come from the losing team. That was Jerry West. It went down to almost the final shot in the 7th game, and West had an incredible series too, but he won barely there. I don't think there's any chance for LeBron. You get swept and you're the most valuable player in the series, give me a break. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't care how many triple-doubles he has. And actually last night, people talked about Durant in the first game. Last night, that was one of the quietest, most silent triple-doubles I've ever seen from LeBron James.
And Clinton?
The thing I'm going to be most upset about if they end up getting swept is that Cleveland is not going to get to see them win a game on their home court before he probably leaves. Look, I know it's kind of a storybook story. I understand that. But, parting ways, LeBron and Cleveland is something that I think needs to happen in a clean way, and it should happen for the sake of the franchise and him. It would have been great to see him get one last one in front of that home crowd, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Storybook stories. Okay. Oops, wrong person. That's the way it happens sometimes. And we had an experiment last night, not just this experiment here at this desk, with refs tweeting. Explain the dubious calls, the technicals for all of basketball Twitter. Clinton, you like Twitter. Did you like that?
I love this. I think that when you talk about groundbreaking things in the context of people learning rules of games and in terms of how they interact with their watching, process, this was fantastic. A referee or an otherwise institution explaining what's going on in the game is very educational for a lot of people who think that they know a lot of things about sports that they in fact don't. You don't have to take a stance in order to simply explain what's happening in front of you. To me, this was the future of what is, watching sports.
And how about you, Sarah?
Yeah, we might need a ref's Twitter to figure out the abominable call that got me penalized for Clinton's rhetorical failure. But I actually think it's great for them to be transparent because the conversation started to take over social media. It wasn't about the game. It wasn't about the play. It was about the referees. And in order to stop that is to educate people on the calls that are being made and why, and to at least say we're open and transparent about this. Everyone's doing their best. I think it's a good move.
Tim, do you think this puts Steve Javie out of business?
Right, but no, I think we can deal with both. I thought the tweet you showed and a couple others were very instructive. They're informative. They tell you exactly where the refs are positioned and what they're looking for, and sometimes we're not really aware of that. Now, they're lucky that this game didn't come down to a controversial block charge that they had to try to explain, like they did in Game 1. But overall, I think it's a good effort for more transparency.
And Woody?
I agree with Clinton. I think this is going to have trimming effects throughout sports. We don't know in baseball when the umpires go ooh or safe. I would like to get from the league office the same sort of transparency, the same sort of explanation. I thought on the Curry-James call last night, they explained it very well. I think they should put it on the scoreboard. I think they should put it on TV instead of Steve Javie, and we could all see exactly what's going on.
All right, live tweeting from all sports. How about that? I think we'd all go for that. There's your horn. Here's your break. That's what the scoring looks like. I'm getting better at this. Maybe not.
Really, you are. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
Good at it?
Yeah, you stopped sucking.
That second button work okay?
Stay out of my mentions.
Hot buy or sell.
The sporting goods stores Dick's and Modell's in the D.C. area have started advertising that they're the place for Caps fans to visit to get Stanley Cup championship gear. Public game watching parties in downtown D.C. around the home arena have been expanded to more areas in expectation of a Stanley Cup victory tonight. Anticipation. Also, the Golden Knights will be playing. How much pressure is on the Caps to get this done tonight, Woody?
Good for you people in D.C. I'm so excited you got something to celebrate, but wait till you get home. Let you have the celebration when they win at home. I don't think there's any kind of pressure on them tonight. They got such a lead in the series, and it's time for the Knights, and particularly Fleury, to step up and win a game. And they've had a great run at home. They've had 5-game winning series in the playoffs.
Tim.
Twice.
I don't know. Have the Caps ever had a 3-1 lead before and run into trouble once or twice or maybe 5 times?
Right.
I think they want to wrap it up while they can. I expect them to wrap it up tonight. I think they have a great chance of that. I'm not sure Vegas just going home is going to be able to solve some of the problems they've had, just kind of getting overmatched by the depth of the Washington forwards. But, yeah, you want to win it while you can. You don't want to delay the party.
Sarah.
Yeah, I don't know if we should blame naivete or age on Woody forgetting the entire history of the Capitals organization and encouraging them to just take the L and win at home. It's that easy. I mean, this is the team that has the most 3-1 blown leads of any major men's team in history, and you're advocating for them just taking it easy and hoping it works out next time. They've got to win this. It's not a must-win, but it's about as close as you can get for a franchise and fan base that is so fragile that they need to just get it taken care of tonight.
Homie, set them straight.
Nobody's that fragile. Everything is fine. The Metro's going to be open later. The buses say go Caps on them. All is well. But honestly, I think the pressure is on them for themselves, the players on this team. Nicholas Backstrom said this at Media Day before the Stanley Cup Final. They know that their team is not as good as it has been in past years. And as a result, they have to apply themselves in different ways in order to get the results that they want. I think they want to prove that they can do this in 5 for the sake of their own legacies more so than anything.
More news on this newsy day. Adam Schefter and Field Yates reporting Patriots wide receiver Julian Edelman is facing a 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's PED policy. The suspension is currently under appeal. Edelman missed the entire 2017 season recovering from a torn ACL. Tim, how big of a deal is this?
I think it's a deal. I mean, they did fine without him last year, but they had Danny Amendola in the slot. He's gone. They've lost Cooks. It's going to be a whole new, mostly new wide receiver crew for those first 4 games. Brady has managed that before, but he has a lot of trust in Julian Edelman.
I was going to say, Sarah, they've missed players before and it hasn't stopped them.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's a deal, though, because not only is he his best and favorite receiver, but Brady's QBR goes down 14 points without Edelman. An even bigger deal than what we'll see on the field is what this does if you take a deeper dive, Seth Wickersham style, to the fact that this is a guy who loves to go see Alex Guerrero at the TB12 clinic. Is there any sort of Belichickian anger about the fact that maybe these PEDs were acquired via that means?
Clinton.
Exactly. He could just slide on over across the street in Foxborough, B-O-R-O, that is, and get his treatment, and it shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. Last time I checked, the strength of the Patriots was that who was playing wide receiver didn't exactly matter, so I'm not sure why I would get more concerned about this guy, considering he missed all of last season and he still made the Super Bowl.
Woody.
I don't think it's a deal whatsoever. No deal, because they were able to get to the Super Bowl without him. They can get to the Super Bowl with him playing 12 games. It's not like he's going to miss another entire season, and they can fill gaps. They generally do it every year. I think they'll find another guy.
After waiting for years, Calishaw's guy, Terrell Owens, will be inducted into Canton this summer. However, Owens says he won't be going to the enshrinement. Today, Owens said in a statement, he wants to celebrate elsewhere. Sarah, buy or sell TO on this?
Well, I'm buying it if he celebrates by doing sit-ups in his driveway while eating popcorn and crying about his quarterback, because I guess that would be the most fitting way for him to go into the Hall of Fame. That being said, this is so weird, and it actually makes me sad. I don't know if he's still holding the grudge by how long it took him to get in or doesn't feel comfortable around everybody else, but I wish he could show up and give his fans and himself the honor the right way.
Clinton.
I'm buying this a lot. Look, if he doesn't want to be there, that's fine by me. This is on brand. This is consistent. He feels like he's gotten slighted. And also, if I'm Canton, if he doesn't want to be there, I don't want him showing up and making a big scene. Don't go, buddy. Don't embarrass the rest of us while you're doing what you're doing.
Woody.
Canton will get along extremely well without him. Actually, it will shorten the program. They don't have to have him give a speech. And I think if he wants to be solutions-oriented, all those pencil pushers that he complained about last year, go to the Associated Press sports editors convention and hang out with them.
Tim, help out your boy.
I don't know how anyone buys this. I also don't know how I have 12 points. Look at these scores.
There you go.
Is that because when we shared an office, you had the Jeremy Mayfield car, the picture up on the wall?
That's right.
Car. But no, I don't know how you can buy Terrell. The whole idea of going to the Hall of Fame is to be recognized by your peers, to be on that stage with all the greats. What is the point of wanting to be enshrined and then saying, I don't need to go?
Well, you might not need to go, but it looks like you do, Tim. Sorry about that, homie. I want to get you out early so you can get to some of the game-watching parties. That's the Cut Down Showdown is next. We'll see Sarah and we'll see Woody. Enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
The bright lights of Fenway Park had another meaning last night. Fans flashing cell phone lights at Tigers batter Nick Castellanos in the 7th inning. The game was briefly delayed while fans were told to cut it out. Fair or foul by these Red Sox fans, Woody?
It's creative. I'm all for it. I love the lightning bug effect during the game. I sure hate the wave. So at least they're showing a great deal of creativity, and I think it should be a part of the game going forward.
Totally Bush League. But we're going to give them a pass because Boston fans up till now have had such a good reputation. They're never in the wrong. So I think we'll let them slide this time.
I never give Boston Red Sox fans a pass. Point. Woody.
Sarcasm.
I know we all love a good metaphor. Check this. Hugh Jackson says Browns players need to earn the stripes on their helmets. The team is going with orange helmets for workouts. Fair or foul by Hugh, Sarah?
Well, I'd like to start by saying aesthetically, I prefer their helmets skid mark free, so I think they should stick with this regardless. But if you're talking about motivation and you're the Browns, you got to do anything, whatever it takes. If this gets guys more invested, go for it.
Okay, Sarah, I've got the solution. What's the biggest school in that entire state? Ohio State. They put Buckeyes on the helmet. When the Browns mess up, put Brown on the helmet. Use that doo-doo emoji every time a player screws up.
Sarah, please clean this up.
Peacocks. The Sullivan Heights neighborhood of British Columbia has a peacock problem because a guy used to recreationally breed them, and then he left town and all the peacocks stayed around. And so for the last decade, they've been keeping people up, screaming at night, making nests on their stoops, and all of a sudden people care about the peacocks because they've started attacking luxury cars when they see their own reflection in the dark sides of the vehicles. And now all of a sudden it's a problem. I think they're beautiful creatures. I love them. And the only problem is they don't have any predators, so the only way to get rid of them is maybe introduce leopards or some other animal that goes after peacocks. It's a real problem, guys, but I love any story coming out of Canada with weird, foul, disrupting the neighborhood.
Speaking about foul, thanks for cleaning this up for us, Sarah. That's going to do it, folks. Thanks for coming around. We're on a 23.5-hour break. See you tomorrow.
Way to treat me like an emoji. Let me try that again.